having fun with the blues scale and then the diminished arpeggio. But I wasn't really playing any, very advanced notes as such. I was just using that diminished arpeggio, and that creates a very different sound from just the blues scale. And it's really easy to do. And we can use our 2-1-2 shapes for this one as well. So we got some cool advantages coming here. We're going to go close up in a second here. But before we do, I just want to say that in this section of the course, we're in the key of F. And go download the jam track by clicking the link below this video. If you're watching this video on YouTube, that will take you to a page. Sign up for the free course. You can get all the lessons there, all the jam tracks, and the charts for this lesson. So go do that now and, click the video on the website. But so we're in the key of F. We got a nice jam track running in the background, and we're going to use the F blues scale with the F diminished arpeggio. And the F diminished arpeggio is basically just minor thirds stacked on top of each other, meaning that we got 3 frets or a minor third in between every note in the arpeggio. That also means that the F diminished arpeggio could be called the G sharp diminished arpeggio or the B diminished arpeggio because everything is a root note. Since there's no difference between standing on the first note, you'll have a minor third in that direction, that's the higher note, and then a minor third and a minor third. If you look in the other direction, the note behind you would be a minor third down the fretboard. So it's just minor thirds in a circle. But we're just going to call it the F diminished arpeggio because we're playing the F blues scale. And the cool thing about that is that when I'm using the... we can go down here. When I'm using the F diminished arpeggio, what am I really doing? Well, I'm putting my emphasis on the root note because that's the first note in the arpeggio. The second note in the arpeggio is the same as the second note in the blues scale. So we start very similar here, okay? And then the next note in the F diminished arpeggio is actually the blue note in the F blues scale. But I'm just playing when I'm playing the diminished arpeggio. The next note in the diminished arpeggio is the 6th of the F. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And that note is my favorite when it comes to adding the Dorian mode to the blues scale, which... It's such a cool note to add to the blues scale. So we got the blue note, and we got the 6th of the F. And then the next note in the arpeggio is just a root note again. So we're full circle. So if I mix and blend the F blues scale with the F diminished, I got a really hard emphasis on some really cool notes. So if I go back and forth like... Right, I get some really wacky, very bluesy sounding licks here. So let's just discover what that really means on the fretboard. Go download the tracks, the charts, so we can look at this together, and then you can lay it out across the fretboard. And then let me play a couple of licks for you, a couple of ideas that you can use to get started using the diminished arpeggio to go back and forth between blues scale and arpeggio. So let's look at it. So we got the F blues scale here in the 13th fret on the neck. First position, and you can apply this to every position, of course. It's a very simple system. So let's lay out the diminished arpeggio so we can start using it along with the blues scale shape. And we're going to start on the E string, build a 5-string shape, and then we are going to build on the A string and build a 5-string shape as well, and then investigate how we can use those two together to absolutely know what arpeggio note to reach for wherever you are in the first blues scale shape here. So, 13th fret, blues scale, and the arpeggio looks like this: 13 and 16th fret on the low E string. You pick though, you can go down, up, or you can go up, down, alternate picking. Then you have the 14th fret on the A string. And if you ended with a downstroke on the low E, you can go down again here. Then the next note is in the 12th fret on the D string. Then the 15th fret on the G string as well. So you got again. You could probably go down, up, down, down, up with the pick, right? Down, up, down, down, up. Next note, G string 13 and B string 12. and 15 B string. So you have one here that goes over into another 2-1-2 shape in the 12 and 15 on both the D and the G string, B, sorry, and then that 13th fret on the G. I don't go any further. I don't go to the E string because that's another shape. First, you can play this. Just see if you can practice this. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. You pull off here and go up, up, down, up, up, down. So you use alternate picking when you must and sweep picking when you can. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Let's just use alternate picking all the way. No hammer-ons and pull-offs. Down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, right? Really good exercise. And you can use that for your dominant 7th arpeggios as well. Alright, let's do this. The second shape. It will then start on the A string. Excuse me. In the 14th fret. Blue note right there. So we got the 14th and we got the 17th on the A string. Then we got the 15th on the D. The 13th on the G. And the 16th. So we got. Then I reach for the 15th fret on the B string. And then 13 and 16 on the high E string. So slightly different because of the B string. Right? And now you got, if you combine them both, so you play the first part as we did in the dominant 7 arpeggios, you play the first part of the first one. Alright? 2-1-2. Then you reach for the first part of the second shape. Then the second part of the first shape. Alright? And then the second part of the second shape. Then you get something like. And you get a perfect sweep picking pattern here. Just look at it. Oh, sorry. No alternate picking. Alright? So now we got the perfect setup here because I got my blue scale. So no matter where you are, there's always a 2-1-2 shape you can go into. Up here, if you're on the high E string. If you're on the B string. Right, on the G string. Right, it's always 2 notes in an arpeggio shape. That's the genius of these 2 5-string shapes. So let's create some licks that you can start practicing here. That will get you. It's not like you have to practice the licks and then only play those. It's just an example to show you how you can combine these. I could, for instance, just go up here. We got the blue scale right here. You know, the 3 top strings here, G, B, and E. And I could go, right? So I go up in the 13th, down in the. Let me just play a lick. Like let's go. Right? So I simply go up 13, down 16 on the G string, then down 15, B, down in the 13th, and then upstroke in the 16th and pull off. Then I pick the note in the 16th again and slide it all the way up to the 19th fret, which is the blue note again, the next note in the arpeggio. And we know that because the diminished arpeggio is just minor thirds stacked on top of each other. And then I can go back in the blue scale mode, pick the note in the 16th fret, bend it, and go back to the, what is that? That is the 18th fret on the B string. All right, so I go. Right? Okay. That was the first one. Another little cool thing I usually do in this shape is I go. It's a really good sequence to learn with these 2-1-2 shapes. It sounds like this. Right, you simply skip a note all the time. So you go 16. Let's just do it in one little arpeggio shape, one little 2-1-2 shape. Then you can take it across if you want to. Right, very effective when you want to create lines like. Right, really breaks up the natural, blah, 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 up and down the scale here. So we go 16, high E string, 15th B string. Then we hit the 13th on the E string and skip all the way down to the G string in the 16th fret. Then I hit the 15th fret on the B string again, and then the 13th fret on the G string. This also becomes the first note in the reverse movement. You go from here, downstroke in the 13th fret, back to the 15th fret on the B string. Then you hit the 16th fret on the G, 13th fret on the high E string, and then back to the 15th fret on the B string. Sorry for the coughing. Let me play that slowly for you. And you can play that in. That's a really good thing to practice, because then we can do stuff like, right? Just a tiny little lick here. 13th fret, G string, 15th fret, B string, back to the 16th fret on the G string. And then I go 15th fret, B string again, and slide it up a minor third to a blues scale note. Right? Or again. So I go 13G, 15B, 16G, 13th fret, E, and then I slide from the 6th there all the way up to the next blues scale note. 3 frets up to the 18th fret. Also, another little. Right, you start on the blues scale here. So you play the 13th fret on the low E string, then the 16th. Next note in the blues scale, the 13th fret A string. Then you slide up to the blue note in the 14th fret on the A string. And from here, it's only diminished arpeggio. Play 14 and 17 on the A string, 15 on the D, 13 on the G, and 16 on the G. Then the 15th fret, B, 13, and 16 on the high E, and then slide up to the 19th fret. That's the blue note again, and bend it up. Just one semitone. Alright. You can also just go from the 13th fret here and then slide up to the blue note, 13, 14 on the A string, hit the 17th on the A string, next diminished note, 15th fret D, then 13th fret G string, and then bend it, stop the bend at the top, and then hit the 15th fret D string. So have fun with it. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put on the jam track. And then you can start practicing these exercises and licks and really get into it. So I hope you're inspired to start doing this right away. And remember, don't make this into a project just, right away. First, take just 1-2-1-2 shape, for instance, on the G, B, and E string, and then play that with the blues scale. It always is, whenever you're playing that first position blues scale shape in whatever key, the diminished arpeggio will be in the exact same spot. So if you can master just that one position, those 3 strings in the first position, then you'll have a tool for life, right? Then you can always expand it and say, okay, let's do some more strings. Let's do a couple of new positions. But get used to it. Move into that area. Become so comfortable with it that it's second nature. That's what most people don't do. We move along, focus on something new all the time and never really gain mastery over one little area. So do that right now. And then I'll see you in tomorrow's lesson.